You're late.
A little bit, just a bit.
Again.
They were so much longer than I thought they'd be.
They really were. Well, and you might be wondering what. We'll get right into it in a second.
Indeed.
Wolf, did you hear that Elon Musk might buy TikTok?
I did not hear that, but what a ridiculous thing to hear.
I saw it recently in a couple articles as of today. And obviously there's the Supreme Court might ban TikTok on the January 19th.
Yep.
I haven't really read into the reasoning as why, other than like it's a Chinese-owned company, I think.
That's what they're saying, even though it's not.
Right. And so, and there's U.S. offices for it in the U.S.
There sure are.
Which more specifically, Elon might buy those, is what I was reading about.
Okay.
And so then he would potentially add it to X and stuff like that.
Ruin it some more.
Yeah, so I don't really know if it's net positive or net negative, or the ban, or if he buys it. I don't really care.
I don't think they'd be willing to sell to him at that point.
Yeah, I don't know how interested he would be in buying it, especially considering how many other social media platforms are like copying the stuff that he started doing, for better or worse. And so I don't really know if he needs it. Plus, inevitably, if it does get banned, something else is going to come out within a couple months.
Indeed. It's not unique. It's just
It's
TikTok. It just did it first.
TikTok. It was Vine before this. It's TikTok now, and something else will then come out.
Apparently everyone's moving to the Red Note, which is like the Chinese version of TikTok, which is ironic.
I did see that. I know, right? I did see that. I'm not gonna dip my toes in that, but have you used it at all?
I have not. I don't think that's serious. I don't need a TikTok replacement. I have everything else.
Yeah, honestly, if like TikTok is banned, I'm like, okay, I'll just use my other platforms. I don't really need another one.
Yeah.
Not that I don't scroll and stuff. I find it some amusing, but like, I have enough social media platforms.
I find it silly that it's being banned, but like, yeah, I've got other things. I haven't been using it lately, honestly.
Yeah, I've mostly just been sticking to Blue Sky and Twitter.
Yeah.
And I don't fuck with Instagram really.
Hate Instagram.
Yeah, me too. Do you use Tumblr still at all?
I do. That's my main one now these days. Tumblr.
Oh. Fair choice. I'm mostly on Blue Sky because Twitter's kind of shit.
Yeah. I'm using Blue Sky a bit more.
It feels like, it feels like Twitter from like, not even just before Elon bought it, but it feels like Twitter from like 2016 almost.
Yeah.
In like a really good way. Like before all the ads, before all the nonsense, like it just has good vibes right now. It'll probably get ruined, but
yeah, as all things do.
Right now it's good. So hop on that train, audience, if you want something.
Enjoy it while you can.
Exactly. It's good right now. But let's get right into it. We have a lot to talk about.
Indeed.
A lot to discuss. This is episode 148 of You're Ridiculous.
That's right.
Welcome, everybody.
Woo.
My name is Luke. One of your hosts as always. Woo. Your other host, Wolf, is here too.
That's right.
That's you. Late as always.
A little. A wee bit.
A wee bit. Last week we talked about the great game Supermarket Simulator.
Oh yeah, iconic.
Iconic as of a week ago. How is the supermarket coming along?
Oh, it's pretty well. I didn't get to play it as much because I've been chugging along on theories for Cult of the Lamb, but it's getting somewhere. Naturally.
That's good. But this week, we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be finally covering Squid Games Season 2.
That's right. We're running late, but better late than never.
Well, it's a good point to talk about because we're running late because we didn't hear much about it.
We did not.
I saw that it was released like pretty soon after its release date, which is like 2 weeks ago or something. And I'm like, oh, this is out. We should watch it. And like, you said, yeah, let's watch it. And when Squid Game Season 1 first came out, I only stumbled upon it because people were talking about it online.
Yeah.
And then I showed it to you and like, we loved it.
Yeah.
Then Season 2 drops and like, I haven't heard anybody talk about it.
Not one peep. I saw like a little bit and then it was gone again.
Right. And now that could be because Twitter's decline, not showing things that you actually want to see. It could be like stuff going on in the world. There's a lot of coverage about the California wildfires if you're in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
All like, there's a numerous reasons that this could not be popping off on social media. But we also have thoughts about it on just it in general.
Yeah, indeed. Big thoughts.
And let's get right into it. Wolf, do you want to give a rundown of what Squid Games is for the audience that might not know?
Squid Games is a Korean drama. I guess it's still technically a Korean drama. Set that is a criticism of capitalism. It follows Song Gi-hun. He is one of many debtors in Korea who gets offered the chance to play a life-changing game called Squid Games. Where you play a bunch of children's games for the chance to win 45 point something billion won.
Point 0.6.
0.6.
Not that it really matters.
I think, is it $1 million? Not $1 million. $100 million, basically, in the U.S.?
Yeah. Oh, is it? I don't. You keep going. I'll look up the conversion.
Yep. And season 1, he plays the game, he experiences, and he comes out of it real fucked up about it. And so this, season 2, is about him trying to get, not quite revenge, he's trying to stop the games.
Yeah,
somehow.
So it's 31 million.
31 million, okay.
Is the conversion from Korean won to US dollars.
These people's debts are insane. How do you fuck up that bad? That 31 million is not enough.
Right. Well, that's. Oh, sorry. Were you saying what they get?
Oh yeah. Well, I guess that's what the one person gets. But even at the first one,
that's the
after
total.
the second game,
that's what he won on the first.
Yeah, that's
game.
what he won. Yeah, in the first game
in US dollars. But yeah. What were you saying about the first game?
I think it was like after the second game, I looked it up, and the equivalent would have been like $53,000 US. I'm like, that's not enough. What did you guys do?
Yeah, so it's roughly 1 billion won to everybody that joins.
Yeah.
1 billion won in USD is just under $700,000.
Yep.
And people were saying they have like 1.5, 2 billion won debts.
Yep.
And I'm like, I agree with you. Like, what are you doing?
At that point, you gotta face the consequences of your actions.
Right. Like, come on. This is obviously like on you. Some of the stuff was like fine, like understandable, like a business failed and things like that. You owe money to creditors or whatever. But then like a bunch of the plot was like crypto scams.
It was. That's why it was funny.
I love that. And it's like, I lost like 1.5 billion in a crypto loss or whatever. It was wow.
Very topical.
Yeah, indeed. And so did you cover how season 2 differs from season 1?
I did. I got to get through all of it, basically. Even just skimming.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, bit weird, I was able to skim through so much and still be able to really understand it.
What episodes did you skim through?
I skimmed through 5, 6, and 7.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because there was a lot of downtime, especially in 6 and 7.
I was going to say 6 and 7 you can skim through. I think 5 is actually pretty good, but I can understand that one. I will say, giving my initial thoughts before we dive deeper into the episodes, I thought episodes 1 through 4 were really good.
Yeah.
Like, I thought these were really good. This was quality up to season 1. They were really high quality. And then immediately wanted to get to season 5. I'm like, okay, this is worse, but like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And then we get to season 6. I'm like, okay, this kind of sucks. And then season 7, I'm like, what am I watching? What is this dog shit?
We lost the plot at some point.
Like, we really lost the plot. Like, this is just like not interesting. And like, it's well done for what it is, but what it is not worth doing well.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not very good. The last episode was literally just a shootout.
It was.
And like, you can watch the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes and you know what happened in the whole show. Like, I told Wolf ahead of time, I'm like, yeah, just skim through the last episode. And I should have said last 2 episodes, honestly, but
yeah.
Yeah, especially episode 7, and it's 60 minutes.
It is. It's longer than this season 1 finale.
Yeah, season 1 finale was 56 minutes, And season 1 had an average runtime of about 55 minutes, 50 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Season 2 has an average runtime of 10 more minutes at an hour. And episode 5 is an hour and 15 minutes.
It is.
And I'm like, it wasn't even like on par with the other 4 episodes.
It wasn't. We did not need to go through every single team's like thing.
Right. And half of the people, I guess we can kind of get into that before we get into the actual shows.
Mm-hmm.
They added obviously some returning characters like Gihan.
Yep.
The front man, who we don't really know. He actually shows up as a player.
Number 1.
He's number 1. And then Junho comes back. He's the brother of the front man.
Yep.
And then I think the only other returning one that was the returning 2 that were relevant was Junbei returns. He had a brief cameo, not even cameo, but he was a brief character that Gihan talked to like in the early episodes of season 1.
We're friends.
They're friends. And then the recruiter returns.
Yep, the recruiter. Key character.
Let's talk about him because he shows up really early in the season.
Yeah, he's right from the beginning. I guess halfway through the beginning. Recruiter, he's back, and he's doing his thing. He's recruiting. What's his face? Gihan has put all his horses into finding this guy. He's got a whole team searching the stations every day for like 2 years straight, from open to close, and they finally fucking find him. And they just like kind of follow him around and watch him go about his day. And this guy's a fucking freak. Loves his job, clearly.
Did you understand what the point of the like bread and lottery ticket was?
Yes.
Explain it to me then, because I don't get. So I get what he was doing to them. I don't get it in the relevance of the show.
I think it's like a small version of Squid Game. It's like, see how they keep going for the lottery and not the bread, because they're treating the bread like it's gonna fix the problem. It's not really a fixer of a problem. And they're like, well, why aren't you taking the bread? Clearly you're hungry. Compare that to, why don't you take the money that's already there? It's something over nothing.
Yeah, so you think it's like almost like a psych test?
Yeah.
For future things? Okay, I can see that. I got it like in context of like him being there and doing the thing, but I'm just like, why as a viewer do I care about like what's happening? Because directly it has no impact on like what Gihan is doing.
Yeah.
And like relevance to, or immediately relevance to the show. But I could buy that as like a psych test sort of thing. They have to test things out, I suppose.
Yeah. And it's probably about like the greater commentary of like, do they deserve this? The people playing the game, do they deserve this? Did they do this to themselves? Et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, especially since like the bread would help them in the short term, guaranteed, and possibly lead them to bigger and better things. Maybe they just need a little bit of food to get off the ground or whatever, or a little bit of hope even.
Yeah.
It could not even be about the bread. It could just be a little bit of kindness, a little bit of hope.
Yep.
But almost like, I would say like, 90% of them took the lottery ticket for the not guaranteed, but very low odds of solving everything right away.
Yep. I think only one person took the bread. At least that's what they showed.
Yeah. Very, very few people took the bread. And then he destroyed the rest. Although, as a homeless person, I would still eat the bread.
Right? All you do is squish it a bit. Food is
right,
food.
like, it's still all in wrappings.
It is.
Like,
it's perfectly wrapped.
Doesn't really, even if it wasn't, honestly, like, it probably only got a little bit outside of the wrappings if they popped or whatever.
Yeah.
Still nice bread. I would just fucking eat that shit up.
Bread is bread.
I know. It's weird that he was offering bread and bread at the same time. Bread and money and bread and bread. Do you think he played Fred and Bread?
Absolutely.
Absolutely
That's what inspired
not.
him.
That game's not playable.
Yeah,
you can't play it.
You can't.
We tried.
Roasting bread and bread months later.
It deserves it. It knows what it's done. It knows what it's done. So I really like this guy, this character. His name is Gong. Oh no, that's the Gong Yu is the actor, but he's just called the recruiter, I guess.
Yep.
He shows up. It obviously ends up. He gets cornered by the boss and the other guy. Cornered,
quote unquote. He had him cornered, frankly.
Yeah, he leads them to obviously. He knows that they're watching the whole time.
They're very obvious about it.
They were. I love the scene where Gi-hun is looking for him and he's just on the top in the corner.
Yeah, just chilling.
Just in the skyscraper watching him.
Like,
that
just
was
look
so
up.
good. I know. I thought he was going to at first. I thought that's where they were going to meet. And then, like, someone would get thrown off a building. No, it was not to be. And then he played Russian roulette with the boss and the other guy.
Slash rock, paper, scissors.
What was the final one? It was rock, paper, scissors -1.
Oh, yeah, -1.
Have you ever heard of that version?
I have not.
I have not either, but it's actually, like, really cool.
It is.
Because the problem in rock, paper, scissors, you only have 3 options, and you're playing those odds versus what you think the other person is going to do.
Yep.
Obviously, in a longer back and forth. Obviously, if you just do it once, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
But then if you do -1, it's a lot like the Russian roulette that they're actually playing, where the odds go up to 1 in 6.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's 2 and 6, but then you take 1 away, and so it goes down to 1 and 3 again.
Yeah.
But you're playing the odds of not only what they're going to put out, but also at one point what they're going to take away.
Yeah.
And it's most relevant for the viewers at the very last one.
I was so stressed in that whole scene.
The fucking moron put out double rocks.
He sure did. Listen, he was panicking from the start.
Which is the one thing you can't do. You can't, no matter what you do, you can't do doubles.
Yeah.
Because you can either always tie, if you do 2 separate ones, you can always tie or you can always beat them.
Yeah.
Depending on what you throw out. But if you do doubles, you'll always lose or tie. So it's like, and then the boss saved him.
He did, sacrificed himself. He didn't even put the death on him. He just didn't play. He abstained.
I know. So what did you think about that scene?
Oh, it was a great scene. It was the highlight of the season, probably.
What?
I thought there'd be more of that, but like, there wasn't. It had the vibe. It had the mood.
Yeah. It felt like
I guess like
one.
the first time you saw hide and seek, we're like, oh, they're just playing a kid's game. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, I do think it was definitely like a top 5 or a top 3 scene. It was so good. And the reason I wanted to talk about this guy is because the actor of this guy, his name is Gong Yu. He's so good at playing like this clearly deranged character.
He is.
He's got that look where one of his eyes are normal and the other eye is clinically insane. Especially when he's playing the game with Gi-hun.
Yeah.
Or is that his name?
The main character, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gi-hun.
Gi-hun? Yeah, okay. So when he goes back to the pink motel, he plays a game of Russian roulette with Gi-hun.
Yep.
And it's just the most insane shit. The looks on this guy's face. It's so good.
He is so ridiculously into it. Gi-hun gives this speech like, oh, you're not going to pull the trigger. You're not going to pull the trigger. Gi-hun, he's going to pull the trigger on himself.
He pulls it. He did like this insane maniacal one at first. Yeah. Like just putting it on the side of his head and like smiling like a crazy person. And then the next one, he just fucking stuffs it in his mouth.
He deep throats that thing.
It was so good. And Gi-hun, shout out to Lee Jung-jae, who has mastered this like stone cold face look. Clearly scarred as a character.
Yeah.
Before, especially last season, he was smiley, happy. His original portrait is him like gooning into the camera.
Gooning!
You know what I mean? Not the gooning that the people know today. Gooning as like smiling.
Yeah.
But yeah, and now he's just like, he has seen demons.
He's in ruins.
He is.
He may be right, but what is the cost of being right at this point?
Yeah, I really don't understand like what he plans to do. Like, he wanted to like get an invitation to talk to the masters of the game.
Yep.
What's your goal? They're richer than like you. One of them is richer than you.
Yeah.
And there's like 5 of them.
Yeah.
what does he think he's gonna do to stop them playing the game?
Like, there's no appealing to their humanity. They don't have any.
I mean, I guess he's planning on killing them because that's kind of what we found out at like the end of the episode.
I think that's what he was settling for.
Yeah, I guess so. But like, yeah, there's definitely no appealing to their humanity, as you put it.
Like, even if they may think they're human, but they've given themselves the logic to be like, they're not human, so it doesn't matter.
Right. Like
the players aren't human.
Exactly. The recruiter spilled it out for him. You know, he was saying that, like, you're all just filth.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're just getting rid of the filth. And then making one of you not filth.
Yeah. Are we great?
So, yeah. So I understand, like, where Gi-hun's coming from, but I don't really... It's kind of like this, like, lost hero, you know, archetype.
Yeah. Maybe that's why the creator's done with Squid Game. Because the real solution wouldn't be interesting for TV, at least not on a Netflix show.
What would the real solution be?
Gi-hun has to actually convince people to stop playing the game. He has to address the systemic issues that drives people to play the game, because he's not going to convince people to stop hosting the games.
Right.
And he's the, what's the guy? The game master spells that out for him. He's like, tell them to stop playing the game.
Yeah, they were all offered continuously to stop playing the game.
Yeah.
And like the as you said at the beginning, the whole thing is like a critique on like capitalism and how money drives people.
Yeah.
And like No, go ahead.
And like the way they recruit, it's very obviously like intentionally set up so that it'll always be 50-50. Because you have the people who could they could leave at any time and their debt would be covered without hitting the end of the game. But then you've got 50 more people who either need to win the game or die. There is no going home for them.
Yeah. And especially it's really easy. They kind of mentioned it a few times as they were playing the game that once they win the first game, they get this sort of delusion that they can win one more game.
Yeah, one more game.
And in fact, literally episode 5 is literally called One More Game. And so it's like, oh, I survived this first one. It's not quite enough money for me to like really, you know, beat the odds or improve my life. But if I just get one more, it's like, it's the druggy sort of thing, right? Like one more hit, right?
Yeah.
And so they're just like, every time the money gets higher and it's like, oh, well, you know, it's 200 million right now or whatever. If I could just get it to like 400 million, then I'd be fine and I can leave. Yeah. And the son even says that.
Yeah. Fool.
So we have some new players, which I just mentioned.
Indeed.
We have, I'll just go in this order. We have Mungi, who is the crypto guy, the YouTuber. Yeah. Oh, here, I'll send you this list.
Oh, perfect.
We have Daeho, who is a allegedly retired Marine. Who is accrued some debt. I'm going to skip that guy because he's not relevant. Hyun-ji, this was the person seeking medical treatment for her operations.
Yep.
Which I thought was really cool that they added.
Oh yeah,
because they never had like a transgender character in the show before.
They have not.
Which was cool.
They were a good addition. People were like, oh, they're gonna kill her brutally. They didn't, and she was a pretty relevant character.
She's a very relevant character. She's a badass too.
Yeah.
She saved a lot of people in episode 4. Like the whole team, she was giving them tips on everything.
Yeah.
She's a morale character. She's a bit of an inspiration to a lot of people. She showed all the people, whether they already knew or not, to how to work the MP5s in episode 7.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff. She's great.
She's pogging off.
We have Young Sik, who's the son.
Yep.
And then Gumja, who is the mother. Yep. I love her, by the way.
She's great.
She's so good. I didn't really care for Oh Il-nam in the previous one. I was sad when he died, or allegedly died.
Yeah.
But like as a kind of like a character, it's like, oh, he's just like kind of just old man. This one though, I love her. She's great.
Yeah. I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often. Like 2 family members from the same family ending up in the games.
I know, right? Well, yeah. I mean, it could happen. We just haven't seen them.
Perhaps.
Well, we also have we have Junbei, who's Gi-hun's friend.
Yeah.
And then we do have Junhee, who is the pregnant lady.
Yes.
Who got pregnant by Min-soo. Oh, I guess Min-soo is the... Is he the
baby daddy?
He's the baby daddy, but yeah. He's the baby daddy. Oh, no. Min-soo's the guy that was like, gets with Thanos and the other guy.
Oh.
And, like, he's the cowardly guy.
He's their lackey. I love Thanos.
Yeah. And then we have the two kind of bullies. We had that other really big bully guy from season 1.
Yeah.
But now we have the two younger guys, Namgi and Thanos. Thanos is like a former rapper, I guess.
Yeah, rapper, YouTuber, everything.
Yeah, and then sort of lastly we have Sae-mi, who they wasted this character. She was the one with the piercings and the short hair.
Oh, yep.
And that like the super cool one.
I thought she was gonna do anything, but she didn't.
She
really.
did. They were setting her up to do cool stuff. And then they just killed her. She just dies. And I guess that's like kind of the point of Squid Games is like nothing is guaranteed, right? But like,
yeah.
Come on, don't set it up as like for the viewer to the show.
Why'd you get all that screen time then?
Right, like she just did nothing. She didn't even kill anyone.
Just got yeeted at the last second.
I was so bummed. It wasn't nearly as bad as like when the Marbles episode where Cybuck's friend died, or when Cybuck died in the final episode.
Yep.
But this one was like just almost annoying.
I love it.
Like, why? She was cool and you just did nothing with her. But yeah, so those are the new ones. Oh, we have who's the one that just like died? It was the in the Ferris wheel episode. She got like kicked out or something, or like the crypto guy like pushed her out. Or
wasn't
whatever.
that semi? If it wasn't, wasn't it? Oh, who was that?
It was like Minho or something.
Was it the pregnant one?
No. It was the one that kept crying that she wanted to go home, and she's like she was friends with the transgender character.
Oh, I thought that was the pregnant one.
No. The pregnant one's still alive. That's funny though.
Goes to show how much I know. That's why I was like, oh man, yeah, like they did that.
No. The pregnant one's still alive. She's still kicking, and so is the baby.
I see. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So there's this other one that I think they tried to set that relationship up, like the sort of Cybuck Marbles game.
Yep.
But like it didn't hit nearly as home.
It didn't. I didn't even recognize her. Apparently,
I was gonna say, especially since you didn't even realize it. I think her name was like Minho or something like that.
Something like that.
I don't really know, but yeah. So those are the new ones. Honestly, I think these characters, besides a couple, are just like really bland.
Yeah. Need more time to marinate. And less time just panning across the screen as the game happened.
They did that a lot. I do like how they set up the first game that was the same, since they knew Gihan was going to be in, but then everything else afterwards was like a complete whiff.
Yeah, brand new games, completely.
I really liked the six legs episode.
That one was fun.
That one was
like
terrifying.
Game.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, I mean horrifying, but very fun.
Oh yeah, really good episode because really good one. That one was super cool. I thought what was the one after the red light, green light?
That was that one, the 6 legs. That's what they did.
Oh, it was? Okay. Oh yeah, right.
The cookie one.
Right. It was supposed to be cookie, but then they replaced it. I like the dream he had where you get the infinite triangle. That was so funny. That was good. What game in the 6-legged decathlon would you have done?
Maybe the kicky one at the end.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't think I could have done any of the other ones. Maybe the rock throwing one.
Oh, I could not do that. I don't think I could do the rock throwing one. I don't have enough accuracy, especially since you're aiming down.
Yeah.
And out. It's not like if it was straight on, like at eye level, maybe I could. But it's like aiming at a weird angle and too much pressure on that one. Especially since the guy pissed his fans.
He did. I don't even know how to spin a top, so that's gone.
Definitely not. I'm not doing that one. And no way in hell am I doing that throw down the things, catch them on your hand type
Right,
shit.
yeah, I don't have the dexterity. We're dead. Bye. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's just insta die.
You just have to execute me here. I can't do this.
You're not gonna put yourself through the embarrassment of trying. Not gonna give myself the chance to piss myself.
Man.
Oh, that episode felt like a return to season 1.
Yeah, that one was, oh my god, that was like long, but in a good way. We finished like the first group with the translating her group and the old lady. And I look at the thing, I'm like, it's only been 5 minutes.
Yeah, that one, I think the reason it was long, but it didn't feel long is because shit was happening that we cared about.
Yeah.
And it was suspenseful. It was like, the marbles one was suspenseful, but in a different way. It was like on the edge of your seat because you didn't want any of these characters to die.
Yeah.
It felt more like the tug of war episode, actually, to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like where there's a lot of, like, you're on the edge of your seat, but it's like really kind of suspenseful. That one reminded me a lot of it.
Yeah, I see that.
I think I would do the kicking one at the end, or yeah, I think it's just the kicking one.
I guess I could maybe pull off the first one, the Dachi.
I think, yeah, that was the other one I thought of, but I don't know. I think that one's harder than the kicking. The kicking one seems super easy.
It does. I'm like, okay, all these hard games and then kick it 5 times.
Like, sure, maybe I'm, maybe it's like arrogance or whatever, but like just comparing it to the other 4, like that one seems way easier.
It does. I guess this is the last one. Cut you some slack because you still have to run to the finish line after that one.
Right. Also, I love the top one where player 1 is doing it and he just yeets it across the room.
Backwards.
It's like, he's like, oh, what's wrong with me? It's like,
I thought you did that on purpose at first, but I'm like, maybe that wasn't.
Well, yeah. So I think it was on purpose. Well, I don't know. It's kind of weird because he did just kind of fucking suck at it. It was like so bad that you could think it's fake, but like he can't die. That was the other thing. Is like, this team can't lose.
They could. They were the last ones. I think that's why they were last too.
You're probably right. Actually, I didn't think about that. They were last, so nobody else was in there, so they could like execute the other 4 and not matter.
Yeah.
So I guess that's fair. Yeah. But then what's the point of like faking that he's bad at the top game?
That part I don't know. I guess to stress Gihun out.
Maybe he was just.
I don't know what his goal was. Honestly, that was the one part that threw me off. At first, I thought he was there to like sow dissent, but then he was suddenly on Gihun's side.
Right. I think it's honestly like we'll get into sort of at the end, but I think it's to kind of build up trust in Gihun and then like mentally shatter him when it reveals that he's the front man.
Right.
I think that's kind of sort of what it is. So I guess I'll just do it now. There is a tentative confirmation for a season 3.
Ah.
Apparently the Korean YouTube channel, or Netflix Korean YouTube channel, whatever, posted a release date for season 3. The video is now deleted, but it is June of 2025.
Oh, that's this year. Interesting.
Yeah. That's what I saw. I don't know if it's legit.
I'd believe it. Because the creator said he's done. So I'd be shocked if he was on this for like another year.
Yeah. And the other thing is that this was only 7 episodes. And the first one was 9. And they've been filming for over 2 years.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that they did 2 seasons. And then after season 3, it's done.
Yeah.
Whether it be another 7 episodes or maybe longer or shorter or whatever. So that's sort of the speculation right now. It's not confirmed yet, but that's what sort of some like semi-leaks have showed.
That makes sense. It did end without resolving a single thing.
Right.
We didn't even finish the game.
That's right. That's the thing that annoyed me so much. Like we kind of talked about, well, we did talk about season 4 or episode 4. Episode 5, what was this one?
That was the merry-go-round or the doors game.
Oh, yeah.
Mingles.
Well, did you have thoughts on this one?
This one wanted to be marbles so bad that they blew it.
It did.
It was too slow.
You thought it was too slow.
I did.
I
Well,
thought it
because
was
they
too
spent.
fast.
Well, I guess the in between, because it did wipe out a bunch of characters and a bunch of like named important characters really fast. But we spent so much time watching them go around on the merry-go-round.
Oh, yeah.
But it didn't build suspense the same way the other waiting games did.
Right. You're saying that it was too long on the parts that didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there. You're right. I thought they should have put more time in the chaos of choosing partners, I thought. And like building up people that they were going to kill. Make it more realistic, right? Like, because that character that we can't even remember, like, she just dies.
It was like a total accident, too. She just got bashed by someone who was getting pushed out the room.
Right. And yeah, she gets bashed out and then separated. And there's supposed to be that really nice, like, she's staring into the eye hole thing and her friend is staring back at her. And then she gets shot and everything. But it's like, we all saw it coming as soon as she gets knocked over. So we don't really care.
Yeah.
And she's not really, like, one of those characters that is clearly, like, important. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter that she dies. I'll say I thought Junbei was going to die here.
Same.
I thought that the show, I don't know when, I just like thought that at one point Junbei was going to going to die here. But he didn't.
I think
in fact,
they moved past the guy, number one, snapping someone's neck a little too quickly.
Yeah, they didn't really do much with that, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. I guess that is one way to win. I'm surprised more people didn't do it. Right?
Well, there's the Thanos and that other goon, kicked people out of their rooms, but they didn't actively kill them.
They didn't
well, I guess
them.
Right. He didn't do it by their hands, I suppose. But this guy's just like, you're in my room, get out. No, you're dead.
This is my room now.
That's true. Yeah. Also, so I think one reason that thinking about it now, that the frontman is in the games is to protect Gihan.
Ah.
Because early on, he makes this physical dominance over 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
And at that point, nobody's going to mess with them, at least directly, right? And so if he wants Gihan to get towards the end and sort of do this heroic act of rebellion, it doesn't really cost him to do anything because all the guards are other people in debt.
Yeah.
We know that from season 1. They're just other people. They collected 100 people, and half of them are players and half of them are guards.
Yep.
Or whatever the number is. And so he just has to get more people in debt to replace the guard, so that doesn't matter to him.
And it looks like some guards are just born into it or something. The way the recruiter described it.
Right. And so some people, I would imagine the people that are higher up on the chain are they care more about those than the low grunts of the circles.
They get to wear the square.
Yeah. The good people get to wear the square. And so thinking about it, I think he's sort of in there to protect him.
That makes sense.
And then at a point in episode 7, he can sort of get away. I also thought that the merry-go-round was when he was going to fake his death.
Yeah.
That was another opportune moment. But instead, he just snaps the guy's neck and protects Junbei.
Yeah, I'm here, guys. I'm fine.
Good to see you again. Did you watch it all in Korean, by the way?
I did indeed. I saw that you were watching it in English, and I'm like, you've lost your mind.
Okay, let me preface this. I watched 2 of the episodes in English because I was playing Stardew at the time. So I was the divided attention. The rest of it, though, I watched 5 episodes in Korean. Holy shit, the English dub is so dog shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's so... I'm not even going to comment that it doesn't line up with, the mouth movement, because it's obviously 2 completely different languages. But, it's not even, a good dub.
The voices don't even match. I forget where I was. I hit play on random on the Halloween party episode. Oh, and it sounded like a text-to-speech voice was speaking.
I think I watched episode 2 and 3 or something in English or whatever. Yeah, it's so bad. It's not good. Sorry if you're the voice actors of the English one, but you got to step it up.
You phoned it in.
Yeah, you really did.
Don't tell me you didn't.
Wolf can sniff it out.
That's right.
Sniff out the lackluster performance. But yeah, sometimes we always say that you should watch the subbed version, but sometimes the dub version is passable or even good.
Yeah.
But this one is not.
No,
Don't do it unless like you're crunched for time or something. Or
I'm told it made Thanos more obnoxious.
Oh my god, he was one of the worst ones. One of the worst ones. Gi-hun's pretty bad too, actually, I'll be honest.
Damn.
But yeah, they're all not good. The player one sounds like a suburban dad. It's so bad.
Tragic. And you know what? There was like the I guess the B plot, almost the C plot even, of the people like looking for the island. That felt like a waste.
Yeah, so they did this last season where they had like multiple. They had like Gi-hun as the main character, and then they had like 1 to 2 side plot stories going on at the same time. And Junho last season was looking for his brother who went into the games, and he's the cop. And now this time he's come back looking for the island again, working with Gi-hun. And yeah, this is like the most snooze-inducing thing I've ever seen.
They're not doing anything. They're not succeeding. I guess the captain being in on it, I guess that was kind of an obvious twist.
That was so obvious. Like, he was so shady from the start. Like, come on.
And then the guy's like, there must be some kind of like leak or something. It's not you though. Anyway, here's all the secrets.
Yeah. Yeah, this secondary plot line was definitely like a C plot line, like you said. It was not good. It just wasn't interesting.
They didn't accomplish anything.
Right. They showed the map. They're crossing out these little pathetic islands. Like, you were on that complex. You know that the island would have to be huge.
Yeah.
So why are you checking these rinky-dink little islands that obviously can't support everything?
Like, I get the ocean is big, but I think you're bad at searching.
Right. Also, how convenient was it that just the one fisherman showed up right where he was to save him? And he's like, oh, yeah, I think you're crazy, but I'll help you, kid. It's like, wow. Convenient. I know. Of course the guy's the traitor. What do you mean? That's terrible. And then we have the secondary or tertiary plot point of, I don't know how to say her name. It's like Noel? The woman who lost her baby in the... Oh, yeah,
her. Yeah,
she's one of the workers. She's a square.
Yep. Top of the food rank.
I don't really get what she's doing. She obviously has some ties into the captain, who's like the rank below the front man.
Yep.
And I think like he's the one that had the baby with her.
Is he? Is that what that was?
I thought so. And then like, I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but like there was a picture. She showed a picture at one point of like her, the baby, and a guy. And so I thought that like when they met with the masks off.
Yeah.
When he was like, oh, I saw you at they were talking about like defecting to South Korea, basically.
Yeah.
And it was like, when I saved you or whatever from doing all that, blah, 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 all their plot point. I thought that was like confirming that he was the guy that was like the dad, basically.
Oh, shrug.
I could be wrong, but also it wasn't like super clear.
We lost the plot on her too, frankly, because now
yeah, because I don't understand what she's doing.
Oh, you want me to kill people? Sure, but don't harvest their organs, make them suffer. You're out of your mind, lady. What a weird place to draw the line.
Right? Why are you standing on principle here? Especially, like, in theory, it will benefit, it is for a good cause at the, like, end of it.
Yeah, it's that someone's getting the organs.
Right? Like, yeah, like, usable organs are being put to people that can use them.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's shady how they get them and all that stuff, but like, you can't. Beggars can't be choosers, as they say.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and so yeah, I don't get it.
Honestly, I thought there'd be more of an uprising. Not only does it kind of come out of nowhere because they're like running out of options because they keep losing the vote.
It was a pathetic uprising.
It was. And they lost. They failed. But it's like. There's like little things where you're like, oh, these games are kind of bullshit. Like when the guy, he did make it across and then they just executed him anyways. Or even the people who weren't technically moving, because it's bullshit that you can't like shake your hands. It's like you can't move forward. That's moving. But they got executed anyways.
Well, so I think they executed him because he was already eliminated.
Perhaps.
Right. And so I think that was the reason. He was caught moving for whatever reason. So he was shot in the leg because, he was shifted. Shot in the leg because they want to harvest him. And then Gi-hun is like, oh, I'll save you. You're still alive. And then they kill him anyways because he's already eliminated. I think that was the reason.
Didn't shoot him good enough. Not a good enough reason. I feel like you give it to him.
I know, right? Everybody gets one.
You should have took the shot right.
Right.
You can see the food's getting worse with every match. They get like a full 5-star meal. Now they're just getting like rolls of rice.
That was true in season 1, though.
That too.
Except for the very end where they got like the steak dinner where they all get the knives.
Yeah.
Why?
How are they gonna pull that off with that many people left?
Why on earth does every motherfucker decide to just use their weapon and then leave it? The guy stabs Thanos in the neck with a fork and leaves it in him as a riot's happening.
Right? Like, now you know he's going to survive longer. You're supposed to take it out if you want them dead.
Well, but even still, you take it out. Exactly. You always take it out. But now, one, he is down a weapon and anybody else could take that knife, take that fork like that other guy did.
He did.
So now the guy just has no way to defend himself because he lost his fork. Why don't you take it with you?
You already murdered someone.
Right. God. It makes me so mad every time I watch. Every fucking show does this, or movie, or whatever. It's the worst shit I've ever seen.
Shout out to the old lady bringing in a weapon and Thanos bringing in drugs, but they made sure they got that dental implant out of Gi-hun.
I did think that was really funny. Like, first of all, Gi-hun's an idiot for thinking that they wouldn't all be screened.
Yeah.
Second, it's hilarious that, like, you can keep your drugs and your fucking stabby knife, but, you can't have your implant. Which obviously makes sense, because, like, they don't want people finding Gi-hun.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that, like, she can have her knife, because, like, what do they care if she kills someone?
Yeah, to their benefit, really.
I did think it was funny that, like, they put him having drugs in there.
He's just popping pills.
He's just getting high the whole time.
Also, that bee was totally a narc. What the fuck was that? That bee was fake. It was a robot. There's no way.
It was a plant. The bee was a plant. It set him up.
Absolutely.
That was so funny. I will say that events like the bee are out of your control. So it's pretty surprising that the front man went in with such balls.
I know, right?
Like obviously he knows all the games and what's going to happen, so he can be prepared.
Yeah.
But like, what if Thanos just pushed him?
Yeah, he shoved like 4 people over.
He sure did. You gotta love, by the way, every voting period at any time that like Thanos can do anything, he's just like fucking dancing down like the room, or like just jumping around.
He's having a fucking blast.
My man is having the time of his life. And then we get to episode 6 and 7 are basically the same.
Yeah.
Where the sort of like squad team thinks they found the island, opens up a hatch and it blows up. So there's no real information about what happened there. And then the rest of it is just the shootout, which was, I don't know. Did you have thoughts on the shootout?
I skipped through most of it, honestly.
Okay, well, I'll give you the rundown. It was like 30 or 40 minutes of just like one team shooting at someone, the other team ducking, and then the other team getting up and shooting at them. It was so boring. I also skipped through it.
Was there some kind of betrayal? Something what Dae-hun did?
So, yeah, the very few things that happened were that Junbei and Gi-hun find sort of where the control room is meant to be. All the teams are running out of ammo, so they send what's his Dae-hun? What's his name?
Dae-hun.
Yeah. Dae-hun to go get magazines. He has a during the whole firefight, he's supposed to be an ex-Marine, but he's having like a mental breakdown about all the shooting. He can't handle it. So he gets the magazines in the original, where the lodgings, where all the beds are, when they killed the team.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he gets to the exit and people are calling him on the radio and is like, Daehan, we need magazines. And he's like, he drops the radio and then goes back into the other room.
Pussy.
And like just goes back to his bed and like starts like sobbing basically. And so he basically lets everybody down. Oh, and then what's her name? The transgender character.
Suni. Well, they kept calling her Suni. But I think that's a nickname.
Right. It is, yeah. Her name in the game is Hyunju.
Mm.
So Hyunju is like, okay, I'll go see what happened to Daehan, and I'll go get the magazines. And then she goes and she sees him like cowering in a corner, and the magazines are there. So she goes, grabs the magazines, and then the masked people show up, and then the old lady stops her from doing another firefight. The rest of the team, I think, either gets shot, the ones that stayed there, or they just surrender. It wasn't super clear what happened to them.
Yeah.
But then we go back to Gihan and Junbei, and player one is with two other guys, and he's like, okay, we'll go around back, circle them, and catch them from behind. And then player one shoots the other two guys and pretends to die on the walkie using the gargled, like, audible splurges of the guy that he shot.
Okay.
To pretend that he's dying.
Okay.
And then he puts on his frontman mask and says, okay, time to wrap this up. And then everybody's forced to surrender.
Yeah.
And then they get face to face, Gihan and the frontman. And he's like, look what your little rebellion cost you. You want to play the hero. Here's what it costs. And then he shoots Junbei.
I did see that part. Okay.
Yeah. And so that's literally all of the 60-minute episode.
That's all that amounted to.
Pretty much. That was pretty much it. It was so boring. It was actually a smart plan by Gihan to like pretend to be dead to steal the guns.
Yeah.
But like, you gotta know that's also just not gonna work at a long run.
Yeah. What's step 2?
Right. Like, if you just had to do that and secure guns, great. But like, you're now gonna assault the facility that's like has cameras literally everywhere.
Like, at that point, your only choice is to execute all the O's and then vote and leave.
True, that could have actually, and that probably would have been permitted too.
Yeah.
Why
did they slap on the wrist for stealing a gun? Because it was Batman logic. Like, where it would make us the same as them.
True, yeah, true. And he wanted to save as many people as possible.
Listen, but like, some people can't be saved. They don't want to be saved.
True, you're right. And they kind of just flat out say that. It's like, well, we'll kill you if we can just keep playing.
Yeah. Those are already ahead of them. They're like, okay, murk them.
And the thing is, like, Gihan wants to save everybody, but what? Is he going to join the next game? Yeah. And try to save everybody? Like, I don't know.
See, what Gihan should have done from the start is offer the rest of his prize money to sweeten the deal.
I thought about that. I was so surprised that he didn't just like, hey, on this first vote or the second vote or whatever, I've won the game. I'll just give you $1 billion each and we can leave.
I'll cover your debts. Yeah, it's not enough? Here we go. 5 people who are on the fence. Now you can all leave.
Right, and obviously, they're not all equal debts, right? And like, the mother doesn't even have debt.
Yeah, it's just the son's debt.
She came in to cover her son's debt and hope to win money.
Yeah.
And so, like, Gihan would probably still, get to walk away with some money. Not that he wants it, but like...
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't want it. Give it to them.
Right. I thought about that, the first vote. I don't know. So what are your overall thoughts on season 2?
It was okay, I guess. It wasn't nearly as good as the first one.
Episodes 4 through 1, like we said, I honestly think are like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, those ones are real good.
Episodes 5 through 7 are like a 4 out of 10.
They're bloated and they lose the plot all at once.
Yeah, which is a very terrible combination. So I'm interested to see what season 3 is going to go. And then we'll go from there.
I think Mingle could have had higher stakes. Because the whole time I'm like, they're going to do one person. They did not do one person. And I think that was like the easy one to do. To sow issues.
Yeah.
There was some self-sacrifice in there.
Yeah, that's true. They could have done that.
There was like no self-sacrifice. It was just, get the fuck out of my room. It's mine now.
The closest we got was just doing a 2-pair, but that was like told ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like the guy is like, oh, what happens if it just does 2? Well, there's not enough rooms to cover everybody, so they're going to weed out the crowd. It's like, okay, well then the next one was listed off as 2. It's like, well, that's not that very. There's no surprise for the audience.
Good thing we're all in even groups, so we can just pair off into 2 very easily.
Yeah, and nobody like that we really cared about died.
Yeah, not really.
Right? Like there were named characters, but like we don't even remember half of them.
I was more choked up because I thought the mom was about to die, and then she lived.
I know. I was so sad.
She's just staring out, and I'm like, oh, he left her.
I know. Well, he didn't have a choice.
He didn't have a choice. I thought it was weird that, what's his face? Or I guess it's not weird because he's there to sow dissent. He's like, oh, your son abandoned you. She's like, no.
I know, right?
She saw it happen, and she's like, you know what, you go.
Right. And, you go. And she even said that before. It's like, if I live and you die, I'll have nothing to live for.
Yep.
Which is peak mom.
Yeah.
She's a great character.
But hey, maybe season 3 will bring the scale back up.
It has to. It just got to bring it back to the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
And season 1, just like don't lose that magic. The show the drama is really good, but you can't lose the plot.
Yeah.
And you can't do these like. I don't want a shootout episode. I think the reason season 1 is so good is because all the deaths are like largely non-fighting based.
Yeah.
Right? Like obviously you have a few like things where people do actively kill each other, but like they're dying from losing games, and that's what makes it exciting to watch.
Yeah. And this group was like less inclined towards betrayal compared to the last group.
Yeah, you literally had like people from prison in the first one.
You did.
Yeah. You have way more shady people.
We got a bunch of YouTubers chilling.
I know. It's just like the general like crowd was like much friendlier.
They're cheering each other on.
Right? I did kind of like that because on the 6 Legs episode.
Yeah.
That was really good. But yeah, I give this season. I think season 1 is like a 9.5.
Yeah.
Or maybe a 9, and this one is like a 7.
Yeah, I agree. 7.
Like the first 4 prop it up so well, but the last ones really drag it down. It's just like not even worth watching.
Look what are you guys doing?
I know. So tragic, but I'm hopeful for season 3. However, this season makes me hope that it ends at season 3.
Yeah, I think that's enough at that point.
Right? Like I feel like we can wrap up the storyline at season 3, answer all the questions, tie up all the loose ends, and then you'll have a really good like 3-season show.
Yeah. And it doesn't have anything to say anymore. It said what it had to said. So now it's just repeating itself. And some people still aren't getting it somehow, but it's still repeating itself.
I think so obviously season 1 set up for a season 2. I think it could have just ended at season 1.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's setting up for like Gi-hun to get revenge and stuff, but like just end it.
I don't think they've worked out what vengeance looks like for Gi-hun. He's just like,
right.
I want
the vengeance he wants is like so unattainable
in the game.
It's just not realistic. Like, come on. You're talking about like billions, trillions of dollars.
He could execute all 5 of the rich people and the game master and the front man, and the games would still continue.
Right. Absolutely. Oh man. It is a cool premise though. The show, not like doing it. I would never fucking compete in this.
Oh, absolutely not.
You're crazy. You're
just gonna take my liver. Sorry, I fucked up. If I have hit that point, I fucked up.
Honestly, yeah. All right. That wraps up season 2 of Squid Games. We're hopeful for more, but not expecting greatness.
Yeah. Tapered our expectations.
If I want greatness, I'll watch season 1 again.
Yeah.
But we have a question of the week from Rain. Wolf, what is it?
This week's question of the week is, what's the most rewatchable show?
Go ahead.
Oh, tough one for me. I don't rewatch shows like that.
I know.
But
Okay.
I guess, Murder Drones. That's like the only show I've rewatched ever in the last 10 years.
Wow. That's high praise. We talked about Murder Drones in our first episode of the year.
We did, our recap episode.
Yeah. That's high praise. Higher
Indeed.
praise.
The highest.
That's true, especially if coming from you. So I do rewatch shows, but it's not like I'm like actively watching them. I'll just put them on for noise.
Right.
It's The Office.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's The Office. It's the most rewatchable thing because none of it matters. You can just put it on for like funny noise and enjoy it, and it's got a good vibe. It's not too distracting. It's not too loud at any one point. It's just good.
Nice.
It's so mundane that I don't have to like even look over at it.
Right.
But it's enjoyable enough that like when I do look over, it's good time.
Yeah.
Other things I'll include, I think season 1 through 4 of Game of Thrones are good.
Just 1 through 4.
Well, yeah, the rest of it's a lot like season 2 of Squid Games. The rest of it just it's such a high peak and then it drops so quickly that it's not worth talking about. And then I think The Witcher season 1 and 2 specifically are quite good. I think season 3 is okay, which we talked about before, but
yeah.
I don't rewatch those a lot, but like, you know, I have rewatched them in the past and I think they're pretty good.
Yeah. I guess American Dad's pretty rewatchable. I technically rewatch that sometimes.
Oh yeah, you're a big American Dad fan.
I am.
Which is funny because like you don't really mess with the other like Seth MacFarlane shows.
Not really. This one hit.
Do you watch Bob's Burgers?
Yeah, I do like Bob's Burgers.
That's a good one. I don't. Well, are you intelligent enough to watch Rick and Morty?
Oh yeah, my IQ is out the door.
Out the door because it's not existing. Also, you probably like American Dad so much because you're literally Roger.
You know, probably. It's my exact brand of humor.
It is.
You're Roger, and I'm like.
Of course they did. How was it? Was it a good episode?
It was a pretty good episode.
Nice. Oh man! All right, Wolf, take it away.
I'm Wolf, taking things away. Thank you for watching episode 148 of You're Ridiculous. If you liked all that, be sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. Hit the bell so you get notified of the next episode. If you're watching on a podcast website, be sure to hit the plus and give us 5 stars to support this show. You can follow us across the internet, the main cast at ridiculous_cast on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow Lucas at 7angrywasps with an E, and you can follow me at Rainbow Does without the W. We hope to see you guys all again next week, but until then, say goodbye.
Oh god, I just saw a tweet that says Mr. Beast is interested in buying TikTok.
Everyone wants it now.
Goodbye.
Bye.